Forgotten memories knock softly at the ribs of time, like birds returning to a house that no longer knows their names. They arrive without luggage, wearing the dust of years on their shoulders, asking only for a corner of the heart to rest. I open the door slowly, afraid of what the silence might remember before I do. The air smells of old evenings, of tea gone cold, of words once spoken and never answered. Forgotten memories do not shout. They whisper. They sit beside you and look out the same window, pretending they were never gone. I remember a road that curved like a promise, lined with shadows of people who loved me once. Their laughter is broken glass now, still shining, still sharp. There was a time my name sounded different, lighter, as if hope itself pronounced it. Now it echoes with pauses, with the weight of everything that did not last. Forgotten memories live in pauses, between breaths, between the question and the courage to ask it, between the smile and the truth behind it. I walk through rooms inside my mind, each room holding a season. One smells like rain on hot earth, another like smoke and goodbye. Some doors are locked, not to keep memories in, but to keep me from breaking. I touch the walls of childhood, peeling paint of innocence and fear. There is a corner where I learned silence, where I discovered that not all pain screams. Forgotten memories sit there patiently, stacked like unread letters, waiting for a night when loneliness opens everything. I remember hands that let go too soon, eyes that promised forever, without knowing the cost of the word. Love was young then, reckless, believing time was a loyal friend. Now time walks past me without greeting, pretending we never met. Forgotten memories follow time like shadows, stretching longer as the light fades. They remind me of who I was, before the world taught me caution. There was a dream once, small but bright, hidden in my chest like a secret flame. Life blew on it gently at first, then harder, until only smoke remained. Still, the warmth lingers. That is how forgotten memories survive. I remember nights that knew my tears by name, pillows that carried the weight of unsaid prayers. The ceiling became my closest witness, the dark my most honest friend. Forgotten memories glow in the dark. They are stars of a private sky, seen only when everything else turns away. I carry faces I can no longer recognize, voices that arrive without bodies. They ask, "Do you still believe?" I answer with silence, because silence has learned my language best. Once hope knocked loudly, now it taps, unsure if it is welcome. Forgotten memories sit beside hope, sharing old stories, laughing at how serious we once were. I remember mornings that tasted like beginning, sunlight pouring through me without permission. Now mornings ask questions I cannot answer, and I drink my days slowly, afraid of choking on truth. Some memories hurt because they are broken. Others hurt because they are beautiful. Forgotten memories do not choose sides. They hurt either way. I remember a version of myself, who believed healing was quick, who thought scars were signs of weakness. Now I know scars are maps, and I am covered in directions. Forgotten memories trace those paths, showing me where I survived. There are names I no longer say aloud, not because they lost meaning, but because they gained too much. They sit heavy on the tongue, like prayers spoken too late. Forgotten memories repeat those names softly, so softly that even pain does not hear. I remember promises made in quiet corners, where the world could not interrupt. Some promises kept me alive. Others taught me how to fall. Forgotten memories hold both. Without judgment, they tell me, you did what you could, with the heart you had. And sometimes, that is enough to breathe again. I walk forward carrying an invisible archive, boxes of yesterdays stacked behind my eyes. People see my smile, but not the weight holding it in place. Forgotten memories know the cost of that smile. They know how many nights it took to learn it, how many tears were traded for calm. If I could choose, I would not erase these memories. I would only ask them to be gentler. But forgotten memories are teachers, and teachers rarely ask permission. They remind me that loss is proof of having loved. That emptiness is evidence of fullness once lived. So I let them stay. See, breathe. Forgotten memories and I share the same heart now, not as enemies, not as strangers, but as survivors of the same story. And when the night grows heavy and the past knocks again, I no longer hide. I open the door and let the forgotten memories come home. Forgotten memories do not rush. They walk barefoot across the years, leaving no sound, only feeling. They sit beside me when the world sleeps, when even my thoughts grow tired. They ask nothing, yet demand to be felt. I remember how silence first became familiar, how it wrapped itself around me like a second skin. Words failed often then, so my heart learned to speak alone. Forgotten memories still speak that language. There were days shaped like questions, and nights shaped like doubt. I learned to carry myself carefully, as if one wrong step might scatter everything I was holding together. I remember trusting the wrong light, mistaking warmth for safety. The burn taught me caution, but the scar taught me memory. Forgotten memories touch that scar and say, "This is where you learned." I remember laughter that filled rooms, so loud it scared the sadness away. Now sadness has learned patience, and laughter visits quietly, like a guest unsure of welcome. Still, it comes. Forgotten memories remind me that joy never truly leaves. It just waits for softer moments. I remember standing at crossroads, where every path cost something, choosing hurt, but not choosing hurt more. So I walked, even when my feet were unsure. Forgotten memories walked with me, counting each step, recording every pause. There are moments I lost without noticing, ordinary days that later became precious. A shared glance, a half-finished sentence, a goodbye I thought would repeat. Forgotten memories hold these moments, like fragile glass, never dropping them, even when I forget to look. I remember how hope used to arrive unannounced, bright and reckless. Now it knocks first, polite, as if afraid of rejection. I let it in anyway. Forgotten memories smile at this, knowing I am still learning courage. There were tears I swallowed, because strength was expected. There were smiles I wore, because honesty felt dangerous. Forgotten memories remember the truth behind every expression. They know the nights I survived by promising myself just one more dawn, and dawn always came. I remember feeling invisible in crowds, heard only by my thoughts. Loneliness taught me how to listen inward, how to become my own witness. Forgotten memories respect that solitude. They do not interrupt it. I remember the ache of becoming someone new, leaving behind versions of myself that no longer fit. Growth hurt like loss, but staying would have hurt more. Forgotten memories nod quietly, agreeing without words. There are faces that appear in dreams, unchanged by time. We speak without sound, understanding everything. Waking up feels like another goodbye. Forgotten memories stay after waking. They soften the edge of absence. I remember believing time would heal everything. Now I know time only reveals. Healing is work, slow and patient, done in the dark. Forgotten memories are the tools, both heavy and necessary. They teach me that forgetting is not the same as losing. Some things stay, even when unnamed. I remember love that transformed me, even in its leaving. It carved depth into my soul, left room for understanding. Forgotten memories guard that depth. They whisper, "You were real," and that truth steadies me. I remember days when breathing felt heavy, when existence required effort. Yet I stayed. That choice still surprises me. Forgotten memories honor it. They remind me that survival is also a form of courage. Now, when the past stirs, I no longer fight it. I listen. I sit with it. Forgotten memories and I share tea in the quiet hours, speaking of who I was, who I became, and who I am still becoming. And slowly, piece by piece, the forgotten becomes understood. Forgotten memories arrive without warning, like rain on a day that promised nothing. They do not ask if I am ready. They know readiness is a myth. We invent to feel in control. I remember the first time my heart learned restraint, how it folded its wings to fit inside expectations. Freedom became something I admired. From a distance, forgotten memories remember the shape of those wings. They tell me I was never meant to crawl. I remember how easily I trusted the future, how I spoke of always as if it were guaranteed. The future listened silently, then changed the rules. Forgotten memories keep the receipts of those lessons. There were nights when the past felt heavier than sleep, when memories pressed against my chest, like unspoken confessions. I lay still, afraid that movement might break me open. Forgotten memories stayed awake with me, counting breaths, keeping watch. I remember moments that shaped me quietly, without drama, without witnesses. Small choices, made alone, that later defined everything. Forgotten memories highlight these moments, saying, "This is where you became yourself." I remember the ache of wanting to be understood, without having to explain. Language failed often. Feelings were too wide for words. Forgotten memories speak fluently in that silence. There were times I outgrew people, and times people outgrew me. No villain, no hero, only distance. Forgotten memories refuse to assign blame. They understand that change is natural, even when it hurts. I remember standing strong, while trembling inside. The world applauded my calm, never seeing the storm I carried. Forgotten memories saw everything. They know strength is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move anyway. I remember wishing for erasure, for the mercy of forgetting, but forgetting never came. Instead, understanding arrived, slow, reluctant, but honest. Forgotten memories guided it. They taught me that pain transformed is wisdom. I remember the quiet pride of surviving storms. No one knew I was in. I never received medals, only mornings. Forgotten memories count those mornings. Like trophies, there are chapters of my life I can only read at night. Daylight makes them too loud, too exposed. Forgotten memories close the book gently. When I've read enough, I remember how solitude stopped feeling empty and started feeling safe. Alone became a place of repair, not punishment. Forgotten memories helped build that refuge. They brought the pieces back slowly, teaching patience. I remember the fear of starting again, how beginnings felt heavier than endings. Endings at least had certainty. Forgotten memories stand beside me. At every beginning, quietly brave, they remind me that I have survived every first step before. Now, when I look backward, I no longer search for blame. I search for meaning. Forgotten memories respond generously. They show me love in unlikely places, strength in moments I underestimated, and light hidden inside endurance. I remember thinking I was broken. Now I see I was becoming. Forgotten memories smile at this realization. They are no longer ghosts. They are guides. And as I continue forward, carrying both past and promise, I understand at last, nothing meaningful is ever truly forgotten. Forgotten memories grow quieter as I listen more closely. They no longer rush to prove their existence. They trust me now, to stay. I remember the long seasons of waiting, when life felt paused, as if the universe had misplaced my turn. Others moved forward, collecting milestones, while I collected patience. Forgotten memories know how heavy patience can be. They remember how often I asked the sky for signs, and how often the sky answered with silence. Still, I learned to read silence. I remember learning to let go, without closure, to accept unfinished sentences as complete truths. Some stories do not end, they dissolve. Forgotten memories carry those dissolutions gently. There were days when my reflection felt unfamiliar, when growth rearranged my face, and experience rewrote my eyes. I searched for my old self, and found only echoes. Forgotten memories told me, "You are not lost, you are layered." I remember the exhaustion of being strong, how bravery became routine, uncelebrated, expected. Rest felt like rebellion. Forgotten memories advocated for rest. Before I learned how, they sat with me when even hope felt tired. I remember the fear of vulnerability, how opening up felt like standing barefoot on broken ground. Yet I opened anyway, because isolation hurt more. Forgotten memories remember that courage. They remind me that softness survived where hardness failed. I remember moments of quiet forgiveness, given not because it was deserved, but because I deserved peace. Forgiveness changed the air inside me. Forgotten memories breathe easier now. They no longer ache for justice. They settle for understanding. I remember dreams that changed shape, that didn't die, but evolved into something unrecognizable. Disappointment taught me flexibility. Forgotten memories adapted with me. They know that survival often means revision, not abandonment. There were nights when I felt too much, when emotions overflowed their containers. I learned to hold them carefully, like fire. Forgotten memories taught me how not to burn myself. I remember the comfort of familiarity. Even when it hurt, pain I knew felt safer. Then healing I didn't. Forgotten memories nudged me forward anyway. They whispered, "Staying is not always loyalty." I remember choosing myself, quietly, without announcements. No applause followed, but something inside me stood taller. Forgotten memories stood too.